Welcome to the J spot. I'm texting Kenny to get his butt on here. Okay, on now. I am so excited for tonight's show. It is not even funny. Kenny, while I'm waiting for him, let me just share who Kenny is for me. So Kenny is an amazing human, obviously, but he is somebody who is like funny. Hi, Reg. He is funny. He is crazy. He gives me a hard time. He lets me give him a hard time. Yeah, he's a random dude that I met at a bar who ended up knowing a lot of my friends. And the next thing you know, we became buddies. Anything you have, Reg, you never wrote me back with your thing. It's not too late. You should text it to me. Please. And I know Kenny's just coming home from a show, so he told me that he's already at home. Goody. Reggie Jordan, you're next. Mr. I'm afraid to be interviewed by Jay McNeil. Love you, mean it. All right, where is this kid? Hi, Jordan. All right, I hope you guys all have your cocktails ready. I put mine in a Starbucks cup because it's A, huge, and B, because I like the straws and I end up spilling on myself. That's really what it is. Should we call him? Yay, it's 8. It's official. Reg, are you still there? If you are, I want to know your fun story. Hey! Hi, Maricela. Hey, Chris. I love you guys. We're waiting for the guest of honor. He's taking a sweet little time. Reg, look at your text and send me your story before he gets on. And anybody else who's there, let me know if you have any questions for our amazing comedian / hairdresser / give Jay McNeil the most shit on the fucking planet / So Maricela, I'm waiting for a guy named Kenny. Right now, what we do every week is that we have a show. Mason! Hey everybody, we're waiting for Kenny. He's taking a sweet little time. Anyway, what we do is that we interview comedians together. So Kenny's a comedian. I used to promote parties. Kenny came to one of my parties right before the pandemic ended. And it was hilarious because I knew everybody at the party. And Mace! And I was like, who is this guy? Like, I don't know this guy. And then, of course, he happened to be from New York. And I'm from New York. So then it was like, I don't know, we just gave each other shit, right? And then we knew some of the same people. So we took a picture, we started sending him, and this guy Dante was like, how do you know this guy? And I'm like, I don't know, he just showed up here. So long story short, Kenny asked me if I would be one of the co-hosts for his show, which is called The Bronx World Weekly. And we interview comedians every single week. So it's Thursday night, and it's Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we have the most fun. I know, right? I totally miss comedians too and going to places. So in New York City, they have places that are just opening up. In San Francisco, not so much. Hey, Glenn! Yay, Glenn! Chicago's in the house. All right, I'm going to call Kenny because this is BS. He told me that he was home. He's on a timeout. Hi, CJ. I'm already waiting for you. I'm on IG Live right now, and I'm talking about you. Yeah, I do it myself. So I need you to sign on and go to my thing, and then I'll add him. I'll add you. This is what happens when you deal with people that don't love technology very much. Yes, I said that. Anyway, yay, CJ, I'm glad you're here. So we're waiting for Kenny. He just was like, how are you going to do it? I'm like, I'm waiting for you. It's 8:03. Whatever. Anyway, I'm so glad you guys are here. Let me know if you have any questions for him. Although I do have really good stories. He doesn't know this yet, but this is what I did. I reached out to a plethora of friends that Kenny has, and I asked them for their fun facts, their favorite stories of what about Kenny. And some of them are disgusting and make me want to vomit, and some of them are great. Some of them are really funny. I'm telling him, Reg, you should text him too. And Mister, I thought you were going back to Chicago today. Just get a cocktail and call it a day. I should just pull you in here instead. Oh, you're gonna know Kenny. Maricela is perfect. Ah, here we go. Finally. We've been talking about him. All right, let's see. Finally.
What's up?
You're a little frozen, love.
Oh, all right, I'm trying to unfreeze. What's
Yay!
up? What's
Look
going
at
on?
your cute outfit. Are you just getting home from a show?
Shh. Not really. It was secret.
Show.
Everything is with parentheses right now. Everything.
Yeah, I get it.
We just shot a promo.
All right. Wait,
Yeah.
for the Grizzly Bear.
We shot a promo for comedy shows.
Yay! Because it's starting.
It's starting.
Reggie Jordan, you pipe it down. He's telling me I'm going fishing. Wait, I don't know if it's just me, but you are very blurry.
I don't know why. I don't know.
All right.
Maybe my screen. I watch porn, so I don't know.
Is anybody else finding that he's blurry, or is it just me? You guys let me know.
You.
Whatever. All right, Mister. So one, I want to say, oh yeah, Maricela is saying that it's blurry. I don't know if maybe do you have another Wi-Fi you could go on, or maybe turn your Wi-Fi off?
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Did that help? I don't know.
That did not help.
Damn.
We want to be able to see your cute face crystal clear like that. I would say maybe try turning off your Wi-Fi. I totally am not, Katie, promise.
I just did the Wi-Fi.
That's what somebody said.
I did the Wi-Fi.
Okay, that looks a little better.
We good?
All right, you know what? We're going to go with it. You're still a little bit blurry, but it's okay.
I'm trying, man.
No, people are saying it's worse now.
For real?
Yeah. I love you guys too. Thank you for being patient. Okay. That looks good. I can see your cute face.
Oh.
That's me squeezing your cheeks.
Oh, you did the hearts. What's up? How you been? Good to see you.
I love you. One, I just want to say thank you for being my first person. He said, Kenny, fix that shit.
You're my president, baby.
First one. I don't know if you even know this, but I was a radio personality a long time ago, and I used to do this, and I used to host people at events. And then this creepy ass dude was like, I'm not going to give you your footage unless you sleep with me. And after that, I was like, fuck this shit. And I never did it again until I met you and I went on your show, and now we bond and I freaking love it. So I was like, okay, I got to bring this shit back. So I'm so happy, and I'm so glad you're my number one. First.
Well, I'm glad to be your first, and I also want to shout you out because you do the extra work on our show. we kind of freestyle, but then you go in and you find out what they really do, and you ask the questions that the people need to know. So,
yeah. Well, and that's why part of why I wanted to have you be first too is because you're extraordinary and you don't ever talk about yourself. But you've done a lot of awesome things, and it's important that people know about it. But when we're interviewing people, we don't ever talk about ourselves. We ask about them, right? So I
you're
think
right.
people need to know about Kenny. So, all right. So here's the thing. How the fuck do you go from Portland to New York City? How does this happen?
All right. So I had a lot of friends that I did like promotions with. I did like concerts and club nights with like my boy Mitchell Jackson, who's an accredited writer now, and my boy Ebro from Hot 97. We started the Love Jones out in Portland with DJ OG1, who's the official DJ for the Trailblazers now. So everything just kept growing. But like we started out there, and then I like as I was going through a divorce, I moved. I wanted a new location. I came to New York. I had some friends here. So it just worked out, change of environment, and then, just having skills in the barbershop. It transfers from the West Coast to the East Coast. I'm in Harlem.
Oh, totally.
The Mohawk came out. They started saying I was the godfather of the Mohawk.
Wait, are you gonna show? Are you gonna show?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my trademark right there. That little thing. It's like little girls in the barbershop, they be like, "You look like Storm," and I'm like, "See, that's why you gotta whoop your kids, because Storm is a girl."
Don't do that anymore. I don't know how I feel about that. I got my ass beat.
You never had kids yet. When you have kids, you'll understand. It's love.
Some of these kids need to get a whooping.
That's what I'm saying. A timeout just gives them a chance to think about how they're going to shoot up the school. So sometimes just a quick whooping, and then they love you again right away.
I agree. My mom used to give us the option of like either having a timeout or getting like smacked with the paddle, which was like this thick and it was like long, and she'd like smack it on the table, and we would know, like, it would put the fear of God into us, because it's like, but I was always like, just hit me. I just want to get it over with.
Yeah, get it over with. Get it over with.
Okay, so wait, how long have you actually been in New York?
Whoop these kids. Huh?
Yeah. How long have you actually been in New York?
I've been in New York 17 years. I moved here in 2004. So like
a minute.
I'm a New Yorker and almost another New Yorker.
Yeah, almost. Okay, and then what on earth made you go to Bakersfield?
Well, so I played for Benson High School. We had a couple guys. One guy went to Oregon State, one went to the University of Oregon, and I was looking at Cal State Bakersfield and some other schools, but Cal State played for the national championship. It was Division II when I was a senior in high school. They lost the championship, but like 2 weeks later, they was calling me and they flew me out to take a visit, and it was either Grambling, where I paid for school, Cal State Bakersfield, or maybe some junior colleges. They offered a scholarship. I took it, and it was a great experience, to go there, play ball. We went to 4 Final Fours, won 2 national championships, was 33-0. Yeah, it was 33-0 my junior year, and I was All-American, and I ended up being the all-time leading scorer and hold 3-point records and all of that. And so
wait, and just so people understand, if somebody, because there's people on here that before you got here that have never met you, so you're talking about basketball. What position did you play?
I was a guard. I was a guard at Cal State, and I mean, we just had a great it was like a great coach, a great program, a great set of players. Like everybody that we played with, guys played overseas for the Globetrotters, and guys, some guys after us. Keeble Stewart, he ended up playing for the Philadelphia 76ers. So it was just one of those runs where a Division II school was kind of so successful that they were making themselves into a Division I school. So, and they're
Yeah.
Division I now, and I
Oh,
feel,
look at that. That's probably
yeah,
because of you guys.
well, absolutely. And the funny thing was that no Division I schools would play us because just think about it. If you're a Division I school, you play a Division II school, you lose to them, the coach is getting fired.
For sure.
So
So they wouldn't do it.
no.
Okay, who's Ty Boogie? Somebody just wrote to us, remember Ty Boogie.
Oh, Ty Boogie was first team All-American, point guard, 6'3", 6'4", guard from New York City, Brooklyn, that won back-to-back titles with me. It was Ty Boogie, Tyrone Davis, Raheem Oates from Queens, Reggie Phillips from Bakersfield, Jeff Keel from he was from like Northern California, and that was our five that like we won back-to-back national titles. We're like family. Like we still to this day, like you might come to the comedy club and see one of them dudes. Raheem was just with me at the bar, and me and Tyrone Davis linked up a couple of times when I moved out to New York. So it's like you're
still close.
Yeah. Even the guys that I played with my freshman and sophomore year that we went to the Final Four with, we still talk.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that. Okay, has basketball always been your sport? Like, was that your go-to, or is that something that you just fell into?
Nah, basketball was like, I played baseball too. My dad coached my baseball and basketball teams and stuff growing up and stuff. So like I was really into sports, but like sports has such a impact on your life. Like if you do well in sports, if you're a champion, it kind of like it transfers, and you get into your regular life and you become a winner. So like,
yeah,
it's a beautiful thing to be successful in sports and coming up, because it makes you confident that like whatever I do, I don't care what they talking about. I'm just going for the championship. I'm going for the win.
yeah.
The hell with them people, man. I can't make everybody happy, but I know if I win, I'm happy.
Right. Do you feel like you have that same perspective now when you're doing comedy?
Absolutely. Because I didn't even start comedy until I was 39. So like,
no way. I was going to ask that. I was going to actually ask if the reason you got into comedy was because there was nothing to do in Bakersfield, but here we go.
Nah, but I left Bakersfield like back when I was like 20.
Yeah.
I graduated when I was 22, 23 years old. So like, I've been left Bakersfield, and I was back in Portland, and I had been married and had kids and all of that stuff. But like with comedy, it's just, listen, that's one of those things where you're on stage, it's you. You can't blame nobody if you're not funny. So you have to have that confidence that you can command the room. If somebody says something, you can deal with them and then get back to it. Like, yeah.
I love it. So this is so great. So you were 39 when you started comedy. You do not look older than 39, P.S. But now that you've outed yourself, it's out there. So what would you say to people that you feel like they've maybe always thought about doing comedy, or they think they're really funny, and maybe they are, maybe they're not, but it's been like a dream of theirs? What would you say to them? What would be your tip?
I would say you live one time, right? You live one time. So you can either play with the idea of it or give it a shot, see if you like it or not. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it, but you can say that I gave it a shot. But if you go through your life and you turn 70 and you say, damn,
I still haven't done it.
I never did that. And I'm trying to make people laugh all the time, and you wasted your. I'm glad I did it.
Say it. You wasted your life. And people do that, which is so scary, is that people will go through life exactly like you said, and they'll get to be 70 and they'll look back and be like, here's my list. And now let me try to do it in 5 minutes.
Right. Nah, but like, yeah, you gotta challenge yourself. Like, I got grown kids, 22 and 27, but I'm still like doing this comedy. like journey. I don't know where it's gonna end up. I've been working
Yeah.
during the pandemic. I've been doing stuff with Griot and LOL Network and BuzzFeed. So like it obviously I should be doing this stuff because I'm getting too many opportunities.
Yeah. Okay, a couple of things. So, how did you get from before? Because Reggie was just posting about what is it? We need to take it back. All right. How did you get into hair?
Oh man. So I started cutting hair when I was 14 years old, freshman in high school. I had this little S curl. That's when you put the texturizer in there. And I cut it off and went to school. And all my boys was like, "Who cut your hair?" I said, "Me." And they was like, "Wait, you cut your own hair?" They was like, "Yo, bro, I'm gonna come over later, man. I'm gonna get a cut too." So I just started cutting people. I
At
didn't even have
14.
clippers. I had the liners to line people up, but I was cutting their hair like delicately, just. And over time, I just kept getting better and better. And next thing, I started charging people. And
Oh my God. So you started your own like business at 14.
yeah,
That's
all
amazing.
yeah, 14, like 14, 15. Once I was 15, I knew how to do like maps of Africa in people's hair. I could do like put
That's
a basketball hoop, or I could do all kind of designs. So I started charging more for the designs, and I bet you people in my neighborhood thought I was selling dope because I was selling some dope ass haircuts.
And you were probably making a shit ton of money. Okay, and was that when you started cutting people's hair in the basement of your mom's house?
Yeah.
When you were 14?
Yep.
So when you started cutting, how did all of the professional like basketball players and all the sports people end up, how'd they find out about you?
Oh, because when I went to college and I came back and during the summers, I would be playing in the pro-am and so all
Oh
the
yeah,
guys, yeah. So I would be playing with like the Trailblazers and guys that was in college and all of that. So like, everybody knew who cut it, and I threw the barbecues and all of that back then. So the
What?
barbecue, yeah, I used to throw the barbecues with the big, we got the houses with the big ass yards out on the West Coast. So shit, I had a band in my yard one time, and had people from all over the neighborhood in there, and but times changed. When I went back home, that big ass yard, my mom sold the lot, and it was a house that was so big it made our house look like the lowercase a.
I get it. Well, and here's me like living in San Francisco thinking like, I don't know where you were living, but we have like no yard anyway. But I get what you mean about West Coast because you were in Portland. Okay, so of all the people's hair that you cut in your mom's basement or whoever, of all the people you've cut, period, who has been the funniest person that you like they were cracking you up?
The funniest person,
Yeah.
man. The funniest person that I've cut is not anybody that's like famous. It's I'll cut on Lexington Avenue in Spanish Harlem.
Yeah.
So like you get every type of character that comes there.
Like
so
the
I
bird
got,
guy.
like the bird guy, but like I wouldn't cut the bird guy because I don't do animals. But what I will say is this: you get those guys. Like it's a guy right now that comes to the barbershop and he's in there for an hour and he's talking to everybody and he's trying to like ease into the conversation that, can you give me a haircut? But so many times, he's coming there and cause so many issues, nobody will cut his hair. And so like to me, that those dudes is the funniest because they just become a part of the shop, but it's like, but
Wait,
we're
so
not gonna cut
he will sit there for an hour and no one cuts his hair and he's just waiting.
No, he's kind of walking around the shop talking, making conversations with people like, yo, man, did you see the game and this and that? And it's like, yeah, so how many people you got? And dudes be like, I'm booked for the day. And he like, all right. And then he'll go to the next person like, yeah, man, did you see the game last night? And then he'll be like, yo, you think I need to edge up? And dudes be like, nah, you look good. You look good.
But wait, in their heart, you know he does. You just
In
don't want
my
to cut his
heart,
hair.
I know that he'll never sit in my chair ever again.
So it's a lesson in it's not worth the money. Like quality of people, not quantity. Like it's not just about the haircut.
Listen, I've been cutting hair since 1986. I fire clients.
Which you should.
So like if you don't know how to act, you can't sit in my chair.
Yeah.
There's no
I love
I
that.
don't yeah, I don't go to work to have a bad day.
Yeah, exactly. That was one of the things. I had this business coach once, and he was all about like, you need to interview them and be like, I don't know if you're going to be good enough for me. Like, I don't know if I want to work with you because for
Exactly.
those of you that know that I do fitness, like, there's people that they're willing to do the work and there's not. But if somebody's going to come in and like mess up your vibe, it's not worth it at all.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, Reggie's saying, so you two don't like animals. Okay, so he doesn't understand the Birdman. So could you explain the Birdman?
Okay, so in New York City, it's a dude that you may see him in the Bronx, you may see him in Harlem. He got a a, a like a hat that has feathers, tropical feathers, different bird feathers, and he does different bird calls. And he comes in the barbershop and he'll dance for a minute and he'll do his bird calls. And we just try to, you know, pick out which bird it is that he's making the sound of. And
You do?
but yeah, and the funny thing is I see him in the Bronx and I see him in Harlem and he knows me too. You understand? When he
Yeah,
sees
so
me,
you
he
see
be
him all
looking at
over.
me like he started making those bird sounds, and I just put him over my shoulder and be like, Birdman in the Bronx. He everywhere. Like, and then sometimes I'm like, Birdman at my job.
I love when you post the videos of him. My favorite is like I remember one day you posted a video of him coming in and making all the sounds, and then there was a little boy getting his hair cut who I know will be scarred for the rest of his life just because that guy like freaked the shit out of him. That was hilarious.
That dude might have been related to the Birdman. You don't even know. See, that's
That's a
the
good
thing.
point. Okay, someone else is asking about who's Larry. Is it Baya?
Larry
How did you get
Baya,
to work with him?
yeah, Larry Baya is like one of the OGs in comedy. And he's been on my show. I had a show called Comics Cutting Comics and Comics Cutting Comics Live, and he was always like one of the guys that was part of the whole barbershop scene. Um, he performs all over the Eastern Seaboard. He's everywhere, and though Larry's like, I would even have to say he's like one of my mentors in comedy because he's been in the game so long.
Yeah.
He tells, he breaks it down like if I have a bad set or something, he'll be like, nah, you gotta bring it. You can't, and he was right, and he helped me. Like I used to be doing like late night sets at the Grizzly Pear, 2-3 in the morning, with him
Oh
and
my
John
God.
Laster. These guys are killers. These guys are veterans. These guys are like mainstays in the comedy game. And when you gotta go behind them or in between Larry and John, and John Laster, is like, you better step your game up.
Right.
The hell with what you writing about. Be funny.
Yeah. And that's rough, especially if you're with these people. So how did you get to, some people are asking, how did you get to work with him?
I mean, just when one thing about any game you get into, people, they like, say if somebody's been in the game for 20 years, they've seen different people like come in waves. Like you might 2 or 3 years you see this person's name and then they fade out, or 2 or 3 years and this person gets on TV or whatever. Is you see different stuff. But when they see when the veterans like been in the game 25 years or whatever, and they see a wave, they're like, oh, okay, I can work with this person. If they work hard like that, I can work with them. So like the people.
So he saw that in you.
I had to work hard.
But that's how that happened. See, this is why I love interviewing people, because what you're not saying, but what is there, is that you worked your ass off. It was recognized by somebody who'd been in the game forever. And because their appreciation of your work, they were like, hell yeah, I'm gonna rock with him and mentor him or whatever. So you guys are still friends, yeah?
Forever. Like that dude, like as soon as this stuff opens up, we're gonna get back to it. Cause like I said, I've been doing this like stuff with these like different networks like BuzzFeed. I've been doing this advice from a barber. And like you can go
Oh
to
yeah,
YouTube and
that's
find
on
it.
my
And
list.
it's such a good platform because it's like in the barbershop where you get to hear everybody's angles, you know, and then I'm just kind of like the facilitator. I'm like, okay, so how do you, I'm asking the questions and I'm being devil's advocate. So when you
Right.
look in the comments, they be mad at me sometimes because I'm like, oh, what about the WAP video? What about the, you know, people that got kids and daughters that like, you know, Halloween, they want to
Okay,
be.
wait, time out before you go on. So where can people watch this advice from a barber?
Yeah, it's on Cocoa Butter, YouTube,
Okay.
BuzzFeed has a little like a section called Cocoa Butter where they're kind of dealing with ethnic different issues and stuff like that. So they got this
And
like
under
so
that is this is it would be a show, right?
it's a show called Advice from a Barber. I
Okay.
got about I think I like 4 episodes, maybe 5, and you
And
know
they're
I'm just
filming it
asking
in the
questions.
shop that you work at.
We filmed a couple in a different shop, and we filmed a couple in the shop that I work at. But like we're just asking questions, barbershop conversation, and you know, in the comments, people get like, "Oh, nobody should have to raise someone else's kids and
Horrible.
stuff like that." But I'm playing devil's advocate. I just want to like keep the conversation like, you know, kind
Yeah.
of like Skip and Shannon on First Take, where you know it's kind of like you keep it going. But people don't get it. They don't get it until they say, "Oh shit, this dude is a comic." Because in the first show, I say shit like, you know, white people go see a therapist, black people go see their barber, and people was like, "That's not funny." You know, you know, uh, you know, the serious issue is mental health and all of that. And it's like, no, I'm a comic. I'm just
Right. You're just
telling
fucking with
jokes.
people.
Yeah, you don't have to take that.
You don't have to take it all that serious. I so get it. Okay, so you managed the grizzly pair, right?
I don't know if you call it manage.
Okay,
Like,
what would be your title?
I would call it curate because it's not just me. It's another guy named Gabe Dorado, and
Okay.
he's a Cuban guy, and that's what makes the place so unique is that it's a black guy and a Cuban guy.
Yeah.
That took a dive bar and said, you know what, we're gonna make this a comedy hub, and turned it into a comedy club. And people said, you can't do that. You can't sell tickets there. You can't, you know, they said what they couldn't do.
Right. And now what are you actually doing?
I mean, it's number one, it's in a location that's prime time. You're down the block from Comedy Cellar, Greenwich Village Comedy Club. The Village Lantern is around the corner. You know, Zinc Bar. I mean, you got all these comedy spots around in that area, and it's right smack dab in the middle. So it's like, this is where all the comics come and have drinks and like, you know, exchange info and network and all. So
it went from you can't do that to how much do you end up charging now to get into a place, or is that like the place? You know what I'm saying?
It's not per se the place, but it's a place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's, you know.
And I love, like, on our show the other day, how somebody was like, yeah, I used to run from like this bar to this bar to this bar. Like, even in a fitness world, like that makes it all that more appealing because you're trying to do as many things as you can in one night. And it just makes it that much more. Somebody's saying Grizzly Pear is the truth. So is it opening on April 2nd?
Of course. April 2nd.
Yay!
Yes. We'll be kicking it off. And the thing was that the percentage that it's opening up to is only 33%, you know, for
so how many people is that total?
In the pair, that's about 30.
Okay, so these people need to tip you really well and be really fucking loud.
You know, people are pretty excited. So I
Yeah,
don't
of
think that's
course.
gonna be an issue. Like I feel like it's about to be a good marriage with the crowd and the comics
Yeah.
during this time that we trying to build shit back up. So
No, I
they
totally agree. At least even on the West, I mean, I don't know, I'm on West Coast, but even here, people like as things started opening up, people were just so appreciative that like even if you were an outdoor like at a street bar like doing comedy, people were like, "Let me just give you money," because they get it, like they understand, which is great.
yeah.
Um, okay, so you fell in love with hair first, kind of by accident, just because you were cut. Do you still cut your own hair?
Yeah.
I don't even know how you did that. I cut my
Oh, you
hair
just
during the
use you
pandemic.
use a big mirror. You use a big mirror in the back and use a small mirror in the front, and it's
No,
like
you are literally so talented because I tried the same thing. I fucking went back to my hairdresser and she was like, "Okay, Jay, this side is up to here and this side is here." Like, there are so many people that got their hair fucked over COVID because they tried cutting it. Never again. Never again. At least for me. I don't know.
well,
Um,
you can see your hair looks great right now. So
because my
big up
hairdresser
to your
said it.
hairdresser. Big up to your hairdresser, and that means a lot coming from a
That's hope.
hairdresser.
Hope. And I love her because my hair is naturally curly. So for to find somebody that can cut hair well and have it be curly and have it be straight is a fucking miracle. Um, okay. So how did you, so what I love, okay, so for those of you that missed the very beginning where I shared how we got to know each other, we ended up meeting each other and he always will say, she heckled me, which is
Oh
trash.
yeah, yeah. I was in San Francisco. I do a tour. I do a tour every year from LA to the Bay, right out in California, and I was in San Francisco, and she she was at a show, and she was talking shit, and at the end of the show, we was cool. But I had to tell her like, yeah, 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 and then get back to my comedy because she was aggressive.
First of all, that is not even how it happened. I was promoting a party. You showed up at the party with your cousin who lived in LA, and I'm like, I know everyone here. Who the fuck are these people? And then you ended up coming, and it was great. It was awesome. But here's what I find one of the things that I admire about you the most is that you have this extraordinary willingness for people to win. So on the show that we do on Thursdays, the Bronx World Weekly, you want people to succeed. It is evident. So there's all different people. I have no idea because I'm not a comic, like how successful they all are. But we've had everything from like Oscar people, like people that write for the Oscars, to like people that do like the mom and pop thing down the street. And I just want to say how much I appreciate that, just even from an outside person, because it is very rare in business when you find people that are like, hey, I've done a great job with this and I want to build everybody up with me. So the fact that you do that is amazing, A, and I hope that you know this about yourself, but just in case you don't, I think you're fucking great.
I'm a team
And
player,
how did you get
baby.
into that? What'd
Nah,
you
just
say?
like I said, like how you transfer things, like you know, think about it. You transfer things from like sports, and all right, so like you have to be a team player. Like I wasn't like a guy that averaged 20 points a game. I was like a team player. I played my role, and we won championships. It's nothing better than winning the championship. So I just look at life like that. If you be a team player and everybody comes up,
Yeah. But do you get how different that is than most people? Like I am also the same way, and I have a very small group of people. Like, and again, I'm speaking only in fitness, but it's like, oh yeah, I have 7 billion followers, and like somebody could be so generous to say, hey, this is how I did this, right? And here's the plan. And more often than not in life, people do not because it's like, oh wait, they might steal from me. Not like there's enough room to go around. So
Yeah,
do you
but
get how generous that is though?
I get it, but it's just like you can't steal my authenticity. You know what I mean? You
Right.
might steal a
Yeah.
couple words I say, but like not the way I say it. So
Yeah.
like you, I just know that like we gotta realize being from Portland and being in New York City, like it makes me look at it from the inside, but also from the outside looking in. So I'm looking at it like all it takes is for people to work together a little bit to get to the next level with certain things. And
Yeah.
like, so I'm just like, I'd rather see, I'm watching people around me win since I've been, producing shows and all of that. I'm watching people. I'm watching like Usama Siddiqui and Caitlin Palufo, and then I'm watching like the Underground Kings, and that's like Joe Hill. They all over the country with K Smith and JJ Matisse and Brandon Reeves and Emerson Stuyvesant, all these dudes people, they keeping me inspired though, because I'm like, I'm chilling right now and they going hard, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I gotta step up.
Yeah.
You use I use all the people that do well, I use them as inspiration.
But it sounds like, and vice versa. Like at one point you've been like you take turns inspiring one another.
That's the science.
That's like the
That's the
family of it.
science.
Yeah.
You gotta, it's like, it's almost like, so you got people that like they get opportunities, and then they just bring the people that they've been working with and kind of create the same type of opportunity for them. And that's kind of, I mean, it has to be that. That's how business works, like
Yeah.
you
Well, no,
set your.
I would say that is how good, smart, brilliant business people work. Most people do not work that way. Most people work like, I've got mine and I'm going to protect it and I'm never going to share, which is why it's so unique that you do what you do, the way that you do it. So I get that that's just, I think it's organic to me. Like it's organic to me also. Um, Reggie's like, I almost want to join in. Reggie Jordan, you were the one like, I don't even know if Jay should interview me yet. She should do like 15 people first. Like he doesn't know. He doesn't, Kenny, you know. So that's what makes it so unique about how you are, because it is such an organic, authentic thing, and you want the people around you to win, and that you get that being a real boss actually. So of all the people that you have managed, who would call you the boss? So what you don't know is that I reached out to a bunch of people that you know, and I asked them for their like best memory, fun fact, like all these things about you. So of all the people that you've managed, who would call you the boss? Do you think?
It's funny to me because I'm like when they say the boss, is because I'm like, I'm so like, all right, I'm just trying to just create opportunity for myself and others, and then they be saying the boss, and I'm like, man, don't say it like that, but I hear you though.
All right, so who do you think?
Shit. One person that always calls me that is Casey Aurora. I don't know.
It was Laz.
Oh yeah, Laz. But
He called
yeah,
you the
Laz,
boss.
but Laz might be like he does say that. Yeah, Laz Rivero. He's one
All
of
right,
the
so
the house hosts.
Here are some of the so what I did was I asked them to share like memories or fun facts or like best things about you. Okay. So here was his. We did a show in Deep, Pennsylvania a couple of years ago. On the drive there, we must have smoked like 10 blunts. I'm exaggerating. And Kenny didn't miss a step. My guy, the boss. Do you remember that show?
Yeah, yeah. We done some road trips. I mean, I smoke weed, so that's not,
It is what it is.
That's like
It's
some
not a
people
big
smoke
deal. I'm in
cigarettes.
California. It's legal. Everyone smokes weed. I used to have employees that I would watch smoke weed and then walk into my into my job to like teach people fitness. It's a little
Right.
awkward.
Exactly.
Okay, who said this? Ask him about the time we almost got booked smoking a blunt in the park.
Damn.
Yeah, like that could be anybody.
I'm like, yo, Phil Hunt? Phil
No,
Duckett,
it's Courtney. Courtney.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that time?
It was a lot of time, so.
Okay, this one was the one that made me want to throw up a little bit in my mouth, but was also very interesting. So the time that we filmed this sketch called Agony of Feet, and there was a toe sucking scene that we were going to try to fake, but Kenny's crazy ass sucked on the actress's toes. I think, if I remember correctly, he did sanitize her feet first.
I only remember it was Catherine Henson who.
It was on tape too. So Quan was the one that gave me this one.
Oh, Quan a snitch, huh? I didn't know he was like that.
I love it though, because I was like, okay, this makes me want to vomit a little bit in my mouth. However, this is a great story.
Listen, man, if you're going to make that shit be for real, you got to make that shit be for real.
That's true. Now, question,
I think we might have
is that
dipped
like
a
a
toe
thing
in
you're
some
into?
alcohol. Huh?
Is that like how men are into like sucking toes sometimes?
I mean, women suck toes too.
Okay, so this is something that you're. Okay, we're just gonna leave it right there. we're just gonna leave it right there.
All right.
Okay, here's another. Okay, so who would be the person that would complain that at one point in time you made them climb on top of a piano in order to perform at the mic? And they had to jump off the piano. And they were mortified because they felt like they were so out of shape and old that they couldn't do it.
All I'm saying is a lot of people make up a lot of stuff. Because I don't know about nobody jumping off no damn piano to perform. That is.
We will talk about this on Thursday because it was Tino, and he was like, I'm old and my knees couldn't handle it. But if you wanted to perform at the mic, Kenny made us climb on the piano and jump off. And then the next thing you know, then we could perform. And I was like, really? Anyway, all right. Okay, speaking of hecklers, you do a joke about milk and how milk should be named after women.
I said breast milk should be named after certain women, like, like Meghan Markle, half and half, or, Cameron Diaz, 2% titty milk, or Serena Williams.
Would
chocolate flavored fat-free milk. I'm just saying, it's something to think about.
Got it. Okay, so apparently you did a show where you ended up, this dad that was in the audience started throwing out tags. And Kenny looked like he was going to be upset, but one of the tags was really funny, and your reaction to it was, I might actually have to add that. Do you remember this?
Hell no.
You don't?
Man, no, we do so many sets. I mean,
this one was from Vanetta, who also said that at one point, and this is a testimony also to how extraordinary and amazing that you are, how at one point you guys were out and you were at the Lantern, and you got a server that was really out of pocket and giving her shit, and then you stuck up for her and you were like, I'm a grown-ass fucking man, I don't know who you think you're talking to, and you were her go-to. So just another fun fact about Kenny being amazing.
Oh.
You are. You pretend like you're such a hard ass, but you give me so much shit. Let me tell you what Kenny does, you guys. People will write stuff and then they'll say for example, I don't like animals, as was mentioned before. I'm allergic. I was attacked by a German Shepherd. It is what it is. Fine. So people will say stuff, and then Kenny will be like, they're just mad. They're just an angry church lady. Like you, even though you're a hard ass. But there are also times when he will give me more uh that's not pretending, that's the West Coast. That's so true. The West Coast though is a little, takes like animals to like a whole nother level. Like today I was in Costco and the guy had his dog like belted to the shopping cart so they could walk around together. And I was like, this dog was like a huge German Shepherd. It looked like a horse. I'm like, what is this horse doing? And it is what it is. Anyway, okay. So what is a talent that you have that other than hair and basketball and all that other shit that we would never guess that you have?
Well, you know, I'm a chef.
What?
I can cook. I can cook. Like, I just cooked leg of lamb a couple of days ago. Oh my God. That shit was, and
Wait,
you know,
like in the crock pot? How are you cooking it?
nah, I cooked the leg of lamb. I seared it first. First, I put my little rub on there. Then I seared it. You know. Then I put it in my, you know, in my oven and roasted it. But then I used a base of white wine and crushed up oranges and a bunch of seasonings and stuff.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and then once I get all the juice in there, then I use the juice and make gravy, and then I put the gravy on there right before it's almost done, and then let the gravy finish it so it's just tender and fall off the. It's no bone on the leg of lamb, but it's falling off of something.
How did you get into cooking? Like this passionately? Like I'm sure there's probably people watching this right now.
The pandemic, I could cook already, but the pandemic, because I was a single dad, but the pandemic was like, you got nothing but time. So I was cooking like 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
And sometimes it was, you know, Marley. And so we cooking and we
Marley!
Yeah. Always got to shout out Marley. And
I love her.
Cooking
hey, Mallory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, all right. So that is a talent we've never get. Is there any other talents you would say that you have that we would never guess?
No.
Okay. What are you the most proud of yourself for?
I mean, to be honest, I'm very proud of the Grizzly Pear. Like the Grizzly Pear, because it was like before Gabe Dorado and myself, before we took over, it was a shit show. They had a good show like on Friday and Saturday sometimes. But we made it where it was like every day of the week, consistent shows. It made people like be able to come do spots and get paid for for their talent, and it just made the Pear a place where people want to come through, like, and it's just like it's a proud. I feel proud that I took a chance, because people told me, oh, if you try to run the Pear, you're gonna get blackballed, and I was like, I already got that, so don't matter.
That's so funny because so I also asked Charles, and Charles had said, I had to find it because I thought I had it in my notes, but Charles said like one of his favorite fun facts about you is talking shit about the comics that we don't like. We won't mention who they are. Also seeing the sparkle in Kenny's eye when he'd bring up plans for the dojo, and I'm like, what's the dojo? But anyway, he told me it's the Pear. So what kind of plans do you have for the Pear now that it's opening?
Man, so we want to shoot a special, like a Def Comedy Jam type special, and try to shop it, to some networks, because I mean, we're dealing with the best comics in the game. We're dealing with all the comics that you see on Comedy Central, and every other, like, all of them come through the Pear, like the best ones, like. Even if they are at the Cellar, they come through the Pear. They want to be at the Pear too. The Pear got a different vibe. It's because it's run by the comics and it's for the comics.
Right.
So, you know, you got the,
Which,
you
do you
know,
know of any other places in New York City where it's actually run by comics? That makes a profound difference because you guys get it. Like, you're with the people.
well, it's other places, but I'm not promoting them.
Yeah. Okay, so question for streamers and West Coasters like me. Are you guys planning on streaming it and having people pay for it while you're actually doing that stuff, or no?
Now that you say that, I'm
I
about
think
to
you
hit
should.
I'm about to hit Gabe Dorado in the morning.
Yeah.
And that is gonna definitely be an option.
Because literally, like how their people do concerts, I mean, there's no reason. Like, I hated that, like I said, I was coming home in July. Like, why do I have to wait to July in order to watch you live? Or like watch,
Right.
you know? Plus, it's great for all the comics to continue to promote themselves. Like, hey, like it's just one extra thing that, like, or maybe I'm in New York, but I don't feel like going to the pair, but I want to watch the show and I can stay at home, or I'm afraid of COVID or whatever. Or you have more people than 30, whatever you said, 33, I think, right?
Yeah.
So now it's like, okay, well, you can't do this, but here's another opportunity. So I hope you guys take that on where you just stream it live and have people pay for it and figure out some way to do it, because I think it would only increase your audience, and then it would let all of you guys be exposed even more so. Like, if all of us, you know, people from all over the world, if all of us are promoting you also, it just makes it that much bigger.
Absolutely. I like that.
Yay! See, this
I
is why
like
we're
that.
a Leo team. Woo, woo.
Yes, yes. No question.
All right,
Yep.
friends. So anything else that you want to share about? We talked about everything that you mentioned. Is there anything else you want to share? I know we always go over how people follow you. They can follow you. Your thing is you're attached to this right now.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be performing?
Oh yeah. So we opening up. New York City comedy scene is opening up April 2nd. That's Friday. Right?
Woo!
So we'll be at the Grizzly Pear. We'll be doing a show at night until they increase the percentage. So you're gonna have the dopest lineups, because we not you know just dealing with everybody right now. We dealing with, if when you come in there, you see these pictures on the walls. You can follow people's social media. That's the house comics. Those are the people that we're gonna be promoting. And
The first ones.
yeah, we got, you know, we got to start out with who we started out with. You know what I mean? Just like bring it back, like.
Yeah.
And those are the people that are been in the game for a while anyway. These people are polished, they ready, and you know, and we'll slowly, as things open up, we'll start to bring in more people. But I am so excited about being back.
So how many shows are you going to have on the 2nd?
No, we only going to be doing one show a day.
One. Oh wow. Okay,
because
got it. And what time is that show?
Bars are making more money, you know, just with people being in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What time is your show?
The show, all our shows is gonna be at 8.
8 o'clock. So this
Well,
Friday.
Actually, we're gonna do them early on the weekends. We're gonna be doing 7. We're doing 7 o'clock on Fridays and Saturdays.
Okay, and where do people buy tickets?
You can get them online. Grizzly
like
Pear,
at the website?
Yeah, grizzlypearcomedy.com, or you can get them right there. They'll be selling. We'll have guys selling tickets out on the street. So
outside.
It's gonna be amazing, man. We got.
Oh, another question: have you guys thought about having TV? I don't know if you guys do this here. We do this because it's warm in California, but having TVs outside that, like, if people wanted to be maybe like an enclosed area, they're not inside the club, but they're outside the club, and they can still buy.
We got those TVs, and we got a TV that, like, it's right by the bathroom. So like when you go into the bathroom waiting in line, it's a TV that shows who's on stage. You can't really hear it because they got music, but we'll probably figure out how to connect it to all the way outside so they can see it, like outside, like what's going on. So you could be walking by and be like, hey, that's such and such. And maybe try to get in. So yeah, no, that's definitely an option.
And even like if you can't figure out an enclosed area, even if you had a TV that was just showing what was going on, so it would draw more people in. But I know already that you're not gonna have any problem filling every fucking show. Like, no problem.
Right.
And you better do it online or I'm gonna beat your butt.
No, it's already
Phil
people's
from
already on.
Chico. I think it's Phil. Phil from Chico. I looked up and I think we've asked all the questions that people have written in the comments, but did you have a specific question? I don't know. And then the only
Phil
thing I
from
did
Chico?
miss was Reggie. I don't even know if he's still in here, but Reggie had asked to talk about the Portland days when you used to cut his hair.
Oh yeah. I mean, you know, I was out there. I was cutting a lot of the Trailblazers, but I wasn't even in the barber shop yet. I was still in barber school. I was just, you know, I was in
But
the
you were
hood.
the it
I
guy.
played. Yeah, I knew people. So I cut Reggie at my house. I cut Sean Kemp at my house. Jermaine O'Neal at my house. J.R. Ryder at my house. These dudes was coming to my house to get haircuts.
So did you cut more people's hair, like I guess I'll say famous people's hair, when you were in your mom's house, or just like that's where it started and then it?
Now that's where it started. I was when I was in Terrell Brandon's barbershop, who was in the NBA. I was cutting all the dudes.
Because it just took one, and then they were like, everybody.
I mean, yeah.
Do you remember how much were you charging back then? Do you remember?
It was probably like 10, 20 bucks back there. It wasn't.
What?
Yeah, I wasn't in the barbershop, so I couldn't like try to bust their head. The barbershop cuts was only like 15 bucks back then.
Oh my God, you so got screwed. I hope they tipped you well.
That wasn't even a thing they was thinking.
Nobody tipped?
Man, people, please.
So these people owe you money.
You had some guys that was just like, yeah, man, thank you, but nah.
That's sad. All these people that were while you were coming up, they owe you money. Facts.
Basically.
Phil wants to know if you'll play golf from him. Do you know Phil from Chico? That's his handle.
Of course, I know Phil from Chico. He a comic. He's funny as hell, and you know Chico's in California, so you know what I'm saying that's my roots.
Yeah, get your ass out here.
Hurry up. I'll be
when?
out. It'll be this time next year, like February. I do my tour.
Oh, that's so long. You know
Maybe
when
later.
You should plan a time to come out for Sirius would be in like because in San Francisco it's our Indian summer, like the end of August, September. So even
that's
if
when I go to the Dallas Cowboys Giants game.
I don't care about that. I love you. I only care about that if it means you're coming out here because I'm selfish that way.
I will be out there. And I can't wait to see you keep making this show happen because you are a hell of a host. Your questions keep popping. You do all the research. This shit should win. You should be on a network doing this.
I know. I love it. And thank you for being awesome. Thank you for being my first guest for the comeback. And I adore you. And then do you want to shout out your show on Thursday that we do?
Oh yeah. So we do the Bronx World Weekly every week with my Bay Area correspondent, Jay McNeil. We got Tino doing the puns, Tino #Romero. We got Laz Rivero and Daniel Ayres doing sketches. And we'll just leave it at that. Everybody else comes and goes.
And where are we doing it this week?
Thank you for having me.
Is it going to be Facebook Live or IGTV?
We're gonna switch it up. We're going IG this week. And
yeah, I think it's a good idea too. Now that they added it so that we can do 4 people at a time.
Yeah, we're going IG this week. We're gonna change it up. Let's go.
Let's try it.
You ready?
All right, I love you. This was so much fun. Have the best night ever.
Thursday. All right.
Yay! Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.